Well, Peruvian police have clashed with protesters demonstrating against a corruption scandal in the country's judicial system. Riot police used tear gas and water cannons to prevent the march from reaching Congress. Protesters responded with stones and other projectiles. Peru has been rocked by protests after senior members of the judiciary were named in a series of corruption cases. The judges are now subject to a state investigation. Crossing over to San Juan, joined by political commentator Lajo Sasli. Thanks so much for being with us. What is going on in Peru? Your analysis of the situation.
Well, it's just an example that the people of Peru are tired of so many scandals of corruption, one after another. And then there is the issue, in addition to this case, that has triggered the protests. Affecting the judiciary, the issue of Pedro Pablo Kuczynski, the previous president, that he had to renounce his chair, his position, because he was, according to their news reports, mired in a scandal with the famous or notorious Brazilian construction company Odebrecht. Pronounce, I do it the German way, Odebrecht or Odebrecht. And he's not the only one. And that's the sad thing. He is a president that has to renounce because of the scandal in Peru. And I believe he's the first president, I think, in Spanish America, in any case, to do so. But you have also Alan Garcia, a previous president, twice president of Peru. You have Ollantumala. Then you have Alejandro Toledo, who was, I understand, he was reported, he was the first Native American Indian president of Peru. And they all have been involved in the scandal of corruption, of being accused of being bribed by this notorious Brazilian company. And that's one case. I mean, those are cases. Imagine, four presidents. One of them had to step down. And there are one. I can imagine there are many other cases, not just among higher up functionaries, officials, but also at the medium and lower level of state of the state of the Peruvian state. So, but it's not, it's not a case only in Peru. That's the problem. And I would say that what is being reported are cases of illegal corruption, but I also call something that to me is legal corruption. That's things that are legal, but they are nonetheless unethical and a product of corruption. And for instance, I can only think here in Puerto Rico, where I live, there is the current governor of Puerto Rico, Ricardo Rosselló, and it has been reported that despite the economic debt, the high debt that the public debt that the country has, that Puerto Rico has, which is a colony of the United States, over 72 billion, I understand, perhaps even more by now. Well, he bought an official vehicle, an SUV, an armored SUV, luxuriously outfitted inside for $245,000. When I understand that he has a fleet of limousines and official vehicles inherited from the previous governor. In a moment with this, so many Puerto Ricans that have to leave Puerto Rico because there are no jobs, there's no money. So you see, here, a colony of the United States, they have a problem of corruption, even if it's legal corruption, as I call it. And cases of illegal corruption, I'm sure. And then you have in Peru. So it's just, the thing is that in Peru, people protest. In the United States, people usually don't protest because of scandals of corruption.
Right.
Let us remember Bill Clinton and his dirty deals, Whitewater. And now we have the issue of Whitefish, I believe it is, with Trump and the electrical company here, the state electrical company. And in Peru, well, the problem in Peru is that it's long term. It's for a long time there have been many of these issues. And all politicians promise to be different, but there you have it. Well, look at Brazil, for instance, with the issue of Odebrecht II and Michel Temer, which is the current president.
All right.
Unfortunately, it's something endemic.
Okay. Well, thank you for highlighting certain aspects of that. Appreciate you being with us out of San Juan. Mr. Lajos, the political commentator.